Okay, this meeting will include the following agendas: the 3 o'clock HMS-GVO, the 3:05 HMS-PSM, the 3:10 HMS-LCA, the 3:15 HMS-HOU, the 3:20 HMS-HTH, and the 3:25 HMS hearings. For the Human Services Committee, we have Vice Chair Ihara, myself as Chair, Senators Ocasio and Senators Ms. Solucha, and Senator Favela is excused. And for GVO, Senator Moriwaki.
Just myself and Senator Gabbard here for now.
Okay. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that you have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business by 4 p.m. today in conference room 225 and video conference. Your audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. Each testifier will have 2 minutes to testify. If we have interpreters, we may give an extra minute or two for interpretation services. If there is a technical glitch during your time to testify, we may have to move on to the next person due to time constraints. I will be reading a list of individuals who submitted written testimony for each measure. We apologize if the closed captioning does not accurately transcribe the names. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website. You'll find the link on the status page for the measure. Due to the number of agendas and the hard stop at 4:30 p.m., we appreciate your understanding and remind you that the committee does have your written testimony that I reviewed. So I encourage you to use your time to either add additional comments or stand on your written testimony. Okay, so first up, for the Human Services and Government Operations Joint Hearing, we only have one bill, and that's HB 1762 relating to language access. Requires the Executive Director of the Office of Language Access to submit an annual report to the Governor and Legislature on compliance, complaints, resolution of complaints, and recommendations to enhance and promote language access, appropriates funds to establish 3 full-time equivalent limited English proficiency language coordinator positions in the Office of Language Access. So first up, we have HB 17, we have Afirat Bambumguran testifying by the Office of Language Access. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair and member of the full committee. Afirat Bambumguran, Executive Director from the Office of Language Access. We stand on our written testimony, offering comment, and also respectfully committee considering our proposed amendment. I also would like to note that the proposed amendment is in line with the executive budget in House Bill 1600 SD1.
Okay.
And we're available for any question the committee may have. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much for being very efficient. Okay, next up, we have Liza Ryan Gill in Support Hawaii Coalition for Immigrant Rights.
Members of the committee, Liza Ryan Gill with the Hawaii Coalition for Immigrant Rights, representing more than 25 organizations immigrant-led or immigrant-serving. This is our main bill that we have been pushing this session because we identified as a coalition language access as the greatest barrier to integration, health, and safety for our community of more than 18% foreign-born individuals. Just for example, 40% of our egg workers are foreign-born and often the victims of wage theft and or labor violations. That's why we see both the report as critical to making sure that people are safe, as well as putting language access coordinators in different departments to help those departments outreach and communicate with the communities that most need them at this time. So we'll be here if you have any other questions. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Catherine Alcuni-Colon for DCCA providing comments.
Good
Director,
afternoon.
go ahead.
Thank you, Chair San Buenaventura, Chair Moriwaki, and members of the committees. Kat Awakuni-Colon on behalf of DCCA. DCCA stands on its written testimony, appreciating the intent and then supporting the revisions, this version, the HD1 version. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you so much for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Hawaii Friends of Civil Rights, Patricia McManaman in support. Please proceed. Ms. McManaman.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I just joined, Senator.
Please proceed.
We stand on our written testimony in support of this bill on behalf of OLA. We do ask that you give serious consideration to inserting the language that we recommended in this bill, specifically to provide one position for OLA for the upcoming fiscal year, and then to convert the 2 remaining positions, I think, that are existing in the bill to allow OLA to be able to fund enhanced services for interpreters, training, testing on language proficiency, and the development and publication of a state plan for language access services. The state plan would have a focus on building stronger executive leadership. And by that, I mean at the executive level of government, i.e. through the governor, enterprise services, et cetera, which is a model followed by many of the states and jurisdictions that have succeeded in establishing broad access to language access services. So I urge you to give serious consideration to that proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, HYEMA, Luke Myers, providing comments. Anyone from HYEMA there? Okay, next up, okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
How do you do,
Adam
Senator?
Weintraub for HYEMA.
Thank you to the committees for considering this bill and giving us the opportunity to testify. We stand on our written testimony with comments on the bill. We take no position on the reporting elements, deferring to the Office of Language Access, but we are in support of the other provisions, provided it doesn't interfere with the governor's budget priorities. Thank you, and if you have any questions, I'll be here to answer them.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Weintraub. Okay, nobody else having registered to testify. Are there those who have provided written testimony? Are Budget and Finance, Craig Hurai providing comments, Department of DLIR, I saw DLIR there, and Director Eustaquio in support, Giovanni Domingo de la Cruz for Hawaii Office of Community Services in support, Department of Human Services in support, Sandy Ma, Common Cause of Hawaii in support, Rob Van Tassel, Catholic Charities in support, Nicole Wu, Hawaii Children's Action Network in support, Genevieve Kessler, Refugee Advocacy Lab in support, Corey Park, the Legal Clinic in support, Catherine Chen, Hawaii Coalition for Immigrant Rights in support, Tarina Wong, Pacific Gateway Center in support, Christine McPherson, Thaddeus Pham, Jeremiah Brown, Gerald Ota in support, Gerard Silva in opposition, Villamor Agpawao providing comments, Agnes Malate in support, E. Lam in support. Anybody else wishing to testify, please come up and please identify yourself and register after.
Thank you very much, committee chairs and committee members. I'm Tarina Wong from Pacific Gateway Center, and we stand on our written testimony, but we appreciate the opportunity to provide live testimony. Our daily work involves engagement with the limited English proficient, and we know firsthand the importance of supporting this bill. Through our Hawaii Language Bank, we receive close to 2,500 requests each year for interpretation and translation. Speaking from a humanitarian perspective, the lack of language access adds a credible fear factor to daily living and to routine activities that are paramount to the well-being of our limited English proficient community. For example, not knowing if there's language access for an LEP farmer wanting information about leasing farmland, or a refugee applying for rent relief online are examples of possible benefits that our clients struggle with daily because of language barriers. This bill advocates for compliance with language access laws and regulations, accountability, and for additional resources to the Office of Language Access. Language access is a right for every LEP in Hawaii in rebuilding lives with dignity and respect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 1762? Anybody on Zoom wishing to testify on HB 1762? Members, any questions?
Just one,
Okay,
the director.
Chair.
So I see that the one position is in the executive budget, so it's fine, but there was also a recommendation that it be for 200,000 you're asking, but it's, I was wondering, some people have said that you should use some of that money to develop and implement a comprehensive statewide plan for access. So can we add that in for part of your duties under this additional funding?
Yes, because that's going to be the main purpose that we're going to use. So, Chair, so 210 that we asking for, we estimate about for one position is about 70,000. That's why 320, 210 is for three. So we will use that about 130. That's correct. That's correct, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, can we go directly to decision making? Okay, we have quorum. So Chair's recommendation is that we pass HB 1762 with amendments. We're going to accept the Office of Language Access proposed amendment, except we're going to provide a blank appropriation and we will leave it to the next committee as to the actual amount. So we are going to put in the language of one full-time employee, permanent language access coordinator position, and the operating expenses to the Office of Language Access to coordinate and collaborate with all state departments to ensure compliance with all state and federal language access laws. Technical substantive amendments for the purpose of clarity and consistency, and there is already a defective date.
Chair, I wanted to just add in the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, that was part of its exact word for word of what he wanted. Okay, so
The comprehensive plan.
So-
Develop and implement a comprehensive statewide plan.
okay, so the amended request by Chair of GVO is that in addition to the operating resources, we put in a comprehensive statewide plan to
Language access.
increase language access.
I can work with the language.
Okay. Note the amendments. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote to pass with amendments.
You heard the members of the Committee on Human Services. You heard the chair's recommendation to pass House Bill 1762 with amendment. Chair San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Ocasio.
Aye.
Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Favela is excused. The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much.
For the Government Operations Committee, Chair votes aye. Vice Chair Dela Cruz.
The recommendation passes the amendments. Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Chang, excuse. Senator Gabbard.
Aye.
Senator Favela, excuse. Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. The Joint Committee is adjourned.
Thank you. Calling the joint HMS-LCA hearing 310 calendar. First up, HB 1787 relating to persons with disabilities establishes employment first as a state policy with respect to persons with disabilities, requires state and county agencies to implement this policy in hiring in all programs and services administered or funded by the state or county, requires DHS to apply employment first principles to Medicaid home and community-based services waiver program personnel. First up, we have Council on Developmental Disabilities, LCA, and support. Thank you very much for being efficient. Next up, we have Arthur Barba testifying for Department of Labor, providing comments. I saw Arthur Barba here before.
Sorry, department stands on its testimony and is available for any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have DCAB, the Disability and Communications Access Board and support. Nobody else having registered, I'm going to start calling out written testimonies. Is there anybody present who wants to testify in person on HB 1787? Okay, so written testimonies. We have Carolyn Cadirao, Office of Aging, providing comments. Department of Human Services, providing comments. Hawaii Disability Rights Center, Louis Urchik, in support. Mike Galoyo Sr., Rainbow Family 808, in support. Samuel Mitchell, in support. Hopi O Kalani Balaz, in support. Mary Freitas, in support. Kimiona Kane, in support. Members, any questions of the only two live witnesses we have? Okay, seeing none.
The others are alive, they're just not here.
Okay.
Good technical.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. No further questions. Chair, can we go on to decision making?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So for HB 1787, Chair's recommendation is based upon the testimony, we are going to make it permissive or voluntary rather than involuntary. So we are going to replace the Act's contents with the contents of SB 2875 regarding, which has a clear definition of employment first as a definition of a person with a disability. And per DLIR's testimony, we're going to clarify that the sharing of data and information among state and county agencies is voluntary. And we're going to make technical non-substantive amendments. And it already has a effective date, so we'll keep it as is, as far as the date. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none. Vice Chair for the vote. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments.
For the members of the Committee on Human Services, we're voting on the chair's recommendation to pass House Bill 1787 with amendments. Chair San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Atasio.
Aye.
Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Favela is excused. The recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senate recommendation for the Committee on Labor, Culture and the Arts, passed with amendments. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair Ihara.
Aye.
Senator Chang. Say aye. Aye. Okay. Senator Keo Kalole. Aye. And Senator Favela is excused. The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much for the joint hearing with LCA is hereby adjourned. Thank you. So next up, since we do not have the chair of, oh, we do have the chair of PSM.
All the chairs.
Okay, let's do PSM first. So it's calling the Joint Committee on Human Services and Public Safety, Intergovernmental and Military Affairs. First up, we have the only bill of HB 1741 relating to children and family of incarcerated individuals. Requires the Department of Human Services to work with the Department of Public Safety and other entities to establish a pilot visitation and family resource center at Waiaba Correctional Facility on Oahu. Requires the Department of Human Services to continue to lead a working group to address visitation and support needs of children and families of incarcerated individuals. Requires the working group to submit a report to the legislature before the 2023 session. First up, we have Kat Brady, Community Alliance on Prisons in support. Please proceed.
Aloha, Chair San Buenaventura, Chair Nishihara, and Vice Chairs and members of the committees. Kat Brady testifying in strong support of this measure on behalf of Community Alliance on Prisons. There is probably no greater body of research than the impact of incarceration on children. This is really, really important, and I urge you to pass it.
Thank you. Thank you for being efficient. Okay, next up, we have Max Otani, Hawaii Director of the Department of Public Safety on Zoom. Is Public Safety present?
Not
Okay.
present, Chair.
Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to Department of Human Services in support. Human Services?
Good afternoon, Chair. vice chairs, and the members of the committee. Yumari Hall, Department of Human Services, Policy Director, testifying on behalf of the Director Beth. DHS stands on its written testimony in support of this measure, offers comments, and defers to the Department of Public Safety. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Hawaii Children's Action Network speaks, Kathleen Allgaier in support. Please
Aloha, aloha, Chair Ventura, Chair Nishihara, and committee members. We have our testimony in strong support. I just want to highlight a couple of important pieces for this measure. The community has been working on this for a long time. We know that the impacts of incarceration are felt throughout the family, including children. For the well-being of our children and for our communities, we hope that you can support this measure today and pass it out of committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Blueprint for Change, Shane Kukuna Okala Yoshimoto in support. Please proceed.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. Kukuna Okala Yoshimoto, Executive Director of Blueprint for Change. We stand on a written testimony in strong support of this measure. Real quickly, as a former member of the HCR 85 Criminal Justice Task Force, the HCR 205 Visitation Working Group, and a strong supporter of the 2008 Children of Incarcerated Parents Task Force, I can confidently say that the passing of this bill would move towards addressing a number of recommendations put forth in all three final reports. One important thing to note is that the intent is to provide kako or support and kokua or help and resources to the whole ohana, pa'ahau, caregivers, and keiki. The 2008 Children of Incarcerated Parents Task Force report surveyed pa'ahau, asking about their needs during their incarceration in regard to parenting, family support, and family resources. The top three responses were communication with their children, information on family reunification, and parenting classes. The report also lists the needs of ohana during the incarceration of a loved one, which include but are not limited to parenting skills, information and referral, legal help advocacy, healthcare, and childcare. The establishment of the Family Visitation and Resource Center affirms what research continues to show, that keeping families connected is highly beneficial, not only for the pa'ahau, but the ohana and community as well. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify. Aloha.
Thank you very much. Okay, no one else having registered to testify on Zoom or live. Those providing written testimony are Office of Information Practices providing comments. That's Cheryl Kakazu Park, Craig Hirai, Department of Budget and Finance providing comments. Hawaii Youth Services Network in support, Judith Clark, Heather Lusk. Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center in support, Mike Galoya Sr. Rainbow Family 808 in support, Kerry Urosevich. Early Childhood Action Strategy in support, Joanne Farnsworth, Hawaii Association for Infant Mental Health in support, Keith Kuboyama, Hawaii Programs, Family Programs Hawaii in support. And we have Alan Johnson, Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition in support, and 15 other individuals all in support. Sherry Richards, Shai Hill, Kathleen O'Donnell, Lavon Richardson, Ileana Funakoshi, Abigail Domen, Paul Takahiro, Lee Kuran, Kylie Ibagashi, Wendy Gibson Viviani, Stephen Morris, Myhel, Paul, Diana Bethel, Barbara Penn, Malia Peters. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 1741? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, may we go ahead with decision making? Thank you. Chair, may we go ahead with decision making? Okay, terrific.
Senator DeClerc just went next door to take a quick look.
You don't have.
She'll be back in a minute. You don't have.
But we can do human services.
Yeah. Okay, why don't you do that?
Thank you.
Oh, no, we do have quorum. Never mind. We can go back and forth.
Okay. Okay, are we ready?
We don't want to hold them up.
Okay, for human services, we're going to go directly into this decision making. HB 1741, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. We're going to accept OIP's amendment clarifying section 2 that the working group shall be exempt only for part 1 of chapter 92. We're going to insert on the blank appropriation 115,000 to PSD and 305,000 to DHS. We're going to accept SMA's technical non-substantive amendments for the purpose of clarity and consistency. And we're going to note that this still has a defective date, which we will keep. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
I'll be taking the vote on the chair's recommendation to pass House Bill 1741 with amendments. Chair Sandra Ventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Casio.
Aye.
Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Favela is excused. The recommendation is adopted.
Okay. Is public safety ready for the vote?
Maybe another minute.
No, we're,
No, we got quorum. You have quorum.
Okay. I want to get.
Okay. Okay, you want to wait for Linda Coit? Okay, so why don't we do a short recess while we await one more member to proceed per chair of PSM's request. While we await, I'm going to open the HTH joint.
No conversation.
No, HTH, we have HTH chair here. We don't have housing chair here. So HTH, and we have already passed 3:20. So first up, we're calling the HTH joint hearing HB 2293 relating to health, establishes the Prevent Suicide Hawaii Task Force to develop annual recommendations to the legislature to reduce suicide by 25% by 2025. First up, we have Keith Hayashi, Department of Education, in support. Okay, not here. Janelle, okay.
Here for the department, where we are here on standing our written testimony that supports HB 2293 HB1.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up, Janelle Sugimoto Matsuda, Prevent Suicide Hawaii Task Force, in support. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and members. I'm representing the task force today and acknowledging that there has been a lot of work done. The task force, as you know, has been around since 1999 as a grassroots entity. HB 2293 would formalize the task force, would also formalize the monitoring and accountability and evaluation of the strategic plan, which the task force authored on behalf, by request of the legislature in 2017. And we stand on our testimony and also offered a few comments to streamline some of the membership as well as some minor verbiage edits. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me finish this though. There isn't much. Okay, next up, we have Department of Health providing comments on Zoom. Okay, they're not present. We're going to move on. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2293? Okay, seeing none, the ones who are providing written comments or written testimony are Jerry Hedges, University of Hawaii, in support; Max Otani, Director of Department of Public Safety, in support; Alan Johnson, Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition, in support; Dr. Dennis Mee Lee, Hawaii Psychiatric Medical Association, in support; Brian Talisayan, Mental Health America of Hawaii, in support; Rachel Chang, Samaritan Council Center of Hawaii, in support; Eric Abe, Hawaii Primary Care Association, in support; Trisha Kajimura, Hawaii Health Harm and Reduction Center, in support; Ann Frederick, Hawaii Alliance for Progressive Action, in support; John Bickel, in support; Kate Waideyatileka, in support. Any questions of any members? Seeing none, we're gonna go recess the joint health committee and resume the joint PSM committee hearing for decision making. Recess and recall the PSM joint 305 calendar for decision making.
Okay, the Public Safety Committee is going to agree with HMS's agreement of to pass the bill 1741 with amendments. So chair goes aye.
Members voting on HB 1741, House Draft 1 with amendments. Recognizing all members here with the exception of Senator Favela. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. We are adjourned on the PSM joint calendar, resuming the Health and Human Services joint calendar. Next up, we have the resolution urging the SCR 151 SR 144, urging the Department of Health Child and Adolescent Mental Health Division to conduct a feasibility study on the establishment of a community health mental health center office, also known as Family Guidance Center Office, in Ka'u in the County of Hawaii. Okay, first up, we have for SCR 151. Where the heck is it? We have HTH, Behavioral Health Administration, providing comments. Are you there? Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. I'm Danielle Hernandez Armstrong from the Department of Health, and I appreciate the opportunity to testify. Until my recent appointment of Chief Psychologist for CAMD, I worked for 6 years as a clinical lead for East Hawaii Family Guidance, the section that services the Ka'u area. I provided clinical oversight to all the Ka'u cases in East Hawaii. This experience helped me become aware of the challenges in receiving appropriate mental health services faced by families in this area. In my time with CAMD, I've been privileged to be part of our movement to provide more telehealth services to rural families, and I can proudly say that CAMD has adapted to the needs of our families by making services more accessible. Our family guidance centers are now mainly administrative, and families need never go to an FGC to receive our full service array. For Ka'u area specifically, we currently have 2 family guidance centers, East and West Hawaii Family Guidance, serving this area. For those families without telehealth capabilities, we have 2 mental health care coordinators, one from each guidance center, who live in the Ka'u area and are able to provide in-person support for families as needed. Additionally, in our in-home mental health services are designed to be delivered at the family home for the convenience of the family and for increased effectiveness of treatment. Additionally, East Hawaii has worked to train students with the hope of gaining more providers in our community. To date, we've trained 5 students who now provide therapeutic services in East Hawaii, one of whom recently graduated, lives in the Ka'u area, and will be starting work as an intensive in-home therapist in that region. We appreciate the intent of this bill in wanting to provide additional services to rural areas. This has also been a focus for CAMD and has resulted in all of our in-home services being delivered by telehealth and in person. We believe we are meeting the challenges of working with this high needs rural area. I'm available for questions. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Miley Davis, County Councilwoman in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on SCR 151, SR 144? Seeing none, moving on to SCR 154, SR 147. Request the Hawaii Health Systems Corporation to partner with the Ka'u Rural Health Community Association to conduct a needs assessment to determine the demand for and access to urgent care and outpatient behavioral health services in Ka'u District. Okay, first up, we only have Miley David testifying for Hawaii County Council in support. Nobody else having registered to testify. Anybody present wishing to testify on SCR 154? Okay, seeing none. We're going to be doing the next one later, Chair Rhodes, if you wish. Okay, seeing none. Are we ready? Can we go directly to decision-making, Chair Opel?
I don't have quorum, so maybe I should just take the rest of the agenda.
Okay. So, but human services.
Please lead on some measures.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have 3 measures. So the next measure is SCR 42 SR 37, urging the Hawaii Health Systems Corporation to expand the Ka'u Rural Health Clinic to improve access to urgent care and outpatient behavioral health services. We have 1 testifier, Miley David from the Hawaii County Council, who testified in support. Members, any questions? Okay, we'll move to the next measure, SCR 130 SR 114, requesting the Department of Health and Department of Human Services to jointly develop and adopt all rules, policies, and plan amendments necessary for the state Medicaid program to cover medically needed services, including applied behavior analysis services for individuals aged 21 and older with neurodevelopmental disorders, including autism spectrum disorder. First up, in support, in person, Ms. Alento.
Thank you. Good afternoon, chairs and all the senators. Thank you. I'm Linda Ilento. I'm here in support of this measure, SCR 130. I've just now reviewed the testimonies of the Department of Human Services and Department of Health. And I had a couple of things that popped out at me. But and when I finish, I'm going to just share the reason I'm here and the personal reason why I'm here. But I want to say that I do disagree with some of the comments that I have seen. One would be the Department of Human Services testimony, page 2, ending the full paragraph. It says, it may not be ABA specifically. I'm here to testify it is not ABA specifically. In fact, the one thing I do want to question here for intensive behavioral health services is the mental health parity law that passed here back in, I don't know, up to 10 years ago. I don't remember the exact year, but that's going to be a lawsuit waiting to happen when it comes to ABA. For ABA, applied behavioral analysis, it ends at age 21 for our students who have been receiving it through the Medicaid program. Some students, like my child, is still in the Department of Education. So this is just another gap that we see here. He can finish up, but with limited ABA just for school type of places, but not at home. Through insurance, let's see, what I wanted to, it's hard for me to, I'm just going around the testimonies here, but that I read the, catch my breath. If you let me finish up. First of all, I want to thank my senator for introducing this bill. That just gave me the confidence to know, hey, somebody at least has done some research that this is a possibility. I don't think it's going to be as drastic of a policy decision for the state as it would be for just some individuals who still need it.
Thank you for testifying. We do have a 2-minute limit because of the time.
All right, thank you very
schedule,
much.
but
for
I
your time.
appreciate your testimony. Thank you. Next on Zoom, we have the Department of Health offering comments.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chair. This is Mary Brogan. I'm the administrator for the Developmental Disabilities Division, and Department of Health stands on its testimony offering comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. DHS offering comments.
Hello, chairs, members of the committee. I'm Judy Moore-Peterson. I'm the MedCosta administrator, and on behalf of the Department of Human Services, we stand on a written testimony offering comments. We are available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then Hawaii Association for Behavior Analysis in support.
Not present, Chair.
Okay. Also, for the record, I'd like to know we have supporting testimony from Paul Bailey Whitaker, Deborah Krekel, Amanda Bolgren, Kristen Koba-Burt, Brian Burt, Jeanette White, Kelly Hedrick for Autism Speaks, and Jill White. Members, any questions? Okay, if not, we'll move to the next measure on the agenda. Last measure on the agenda, SCR 124, urging the Department of Health and Department of Human Services to work with the YMCA of Honolulu to support the mental wellness of the state's youth. First up, we have the Department of Health with comments.
Afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. This is Dr. Danielle Hernandez Armstrong again from Department of Health. We stand on our written testimony and would just like to add that we are ready work closely with the YMCA across the state as well as other community partners. We appreciate the intent of this bill, but we would like to continue to work with all our partners across the state, including YMCA Honolulu, rather than singling out just this one entity, but we appreciate the intent of this bill to improve mental health supports in our community. Thank you for your time. I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the YMCA of Honolulu in support.
Aloha, chairs and committee members. My name is Greg Weibel. I'm the CEO of the YMCA. Mental health experts from across the country are expressing a very high level of concern that we're in a pandemic of mental health problems with not enough resources and approaches to help people. The voice of people who are seeking help include feelings of being stuck, empty, uncertain, anxious, overwhelmed, burned out, stressed, isolated, and depressed. The last couple of years have had significant negative impacts on people's wellness, including their mental health. The surveyed mental health professionals think the state and federal government must provide more resources. Unfortunately, the situation for our youth is so very sad. In early 2021, emergency room visits for suicide attempts shot up 51% for adolescent girls and 4% for adolescent boys compared to the same time period in 2019. Mental health providers and school systems cannot do this alone. They are at their capacity. Not all kids' mental wellness challenges rise to the level of a clinical disorder or severe functional impairment where they need treatment through mental health clinicians. There are many youth that can benefit through strategies and tools, including teaching skills around self-care, life skills like communication, stress management, and coping skills. For decades, the Y has been providing supportive services to thousands of youth who've been dealing with substance abuse, as well as all kids in every situation in our community. We understand assessment and treatment models and working in age-appropriate approaches, and we'll be partnering with licensed clinicians to guide our mental wellness programs. So we're advocating that the Departments of Health and Human Services spend time working with us on a plan to help improve the mental wellness of our youth. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's all the registered testimony we have on this measure. I'd also like to note for the record, supporting testimony from Chelsea Arume, comments from DHS, and Amy Grace in support. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, let's recess for decision making.
Okay, recalling the 3-something calendar on the joint Human Services and Health. We're ready for decision making. So first up, this is the 320 calendar. First up, on HB 2293, Chair's recommendation is to pass it with amendment. We're going to accept all of the Prevent Suicide Hawaii Task Force proposed amendments, except we are going to retain the end date. And we are going to clarify on the committee report that this measure formally recognizes the existing Prevent Suicide Hawaii Task Force administered by DOH, which is a state, public, and private partnership of individuals, organizations, and community groups working in the area of suicide prevention. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote passed with amendments. Chair votes aye.
For the Committee on Human Services, we're voting on the chair's recommendation to pass House Bill 2293 with amendments. Chairs San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Casio.
Aye.
Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Favela is Senator Favela, hi. The recommendation is unanimously adopted.
Okay, thank you very much.
For the Health Committee, same recommendation, passing with amendments, HB 2293 HD1. The chair votes aye. Vice Chair Baker is excused. Senator Moriwaki, excused. Senator San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendation is adopted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. For SCR 151, SR 144, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
We're going to take one vote for both SCR 151 and SR 144 to pass as is. With all members present, any reservations or objections to the recommendation? Otherwise, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And for the Health Committee, same recommendation, passing on amended. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair Baker excused. Senator Moriwaki excused. Senator San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendation is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. So for SCR 154 and SR 147, Chair's recommendation is to accept SMA's technical non-substantive amendments. So it's to pass with amendments. Vice Chair for the vote. Chair votes aye.
You heard the recommendation, the chair's recommendation to pass SCR 154
and SR 147.
Okay, 154 and SR 147. Any reservations, objections? Hearing none, I'll cast an aye vote for all members present. Recommendations adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, for the Health Committee, same recommendation, passing with amendments, noting that there are 3 members of the Health Committee present. Are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, recommendation adopted. Thank you.
Now it's yours.
Okay, and so we'll move to the health agenda. The first measure is SCR 42 SR 37. This is urging HHSC to expand Ka'u Rural Health Clinic. The recommendation here is to pass this measure out unamended. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none with 3 members of the Health Committee present, are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, recommendation adopted. Thank you.
So for HMS, same recommendation. Vice Chair for the vote.
We're voting on the recommendation to pass SCR 42 and SR 37 unamended. Any reservation or objections? The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. Where is my, okay, here we go. The next resolution is SCR 130, SR 114. This is a request to the Department of Health and Department of Human Services related to applied behavior analysis services. So the recommendation here is to pass with amendments. We're going to accept the suggested amendment from the Department of Health, including a further review of research for providing ABA services to the list of items that we are requesting DHS and the Department of Health to develop. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, passing with amendments. With 3 members of the Health Committee present, are there any reservations or nays? Seeing none, recommendations adopted.
Okay, for Human Services, same recommendation. Vice Chair for the vote.
This is to pass SCR 130 and SR 114 with amendments. Any reservations, objections? Hearing none, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. Last measure on the agenda is SCR 124, urging the Department of Health and Department of Human Services to work with the YMCA of Honolulu to support the mental wellness of the state's youth. The recommendation here is to pass this measure with amendments. We are going to flip references to the YMCA and change it to read a request that the DOH and DHS work with community partners, including the YMCA of Honolulu, to support mental wellness of the state's youth. That way we're not targeting one specific organization in the resolution. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, seeing none, SCR 124 passing with amendments. Noting 4 members of the committee present, are there any reservations or no votes? Seeing none, recommendation adopted.
Okay, for Human Services, same recommendation. Vice Chair for the vote.
Any reservations, objections to the recommendation to pass SCR 124 with amendments? Hearing none, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are adjourned for the calling the joint Human Services and Housing joint hearing. I don't have the hearing notice. Sorry. HB number, thank you. HB number 2512 relating to Ohana zones, expands regulatory exemptions for Ohana zones pilot program contracts, extends the sunset date for the Ohana zones pilot program to June 30, 26. Appropriates funds to the governor for the Ohana zones pilot project. Okay, first up, we have on Zoom, we have Alani Apia in support. Are you in support of the program?
Aloha committee, fully in support. My name is Alani Apio. I work with the volunteer organization Hui Aloha, and we have been working on helping to resolve homelessness in the islands for going on 4 years now. I'm here with 2 friends who are currently experiencing homelessness from who are living down on Sand Island. And what I want to say to you folks is there is no way out of our housing crisis without us building more housing. And my 2 friends here have been houseless for several years, and there is no level of housing available now in the state that they qualify for. Therefore, like us supporting Puhonua Waianae and they're building the Mauka property, we are trying to get this Kauhale bill passed with the exemptions so that these types of housing can be built for people like this. They are ready, willing, and able to get in there and do the hard work. But the way that we've set up our laws, we need to make some amendments and revisions so that truly affordable housing can be built. And I'd like to introduce you to my friend Totoa, Junior Totoa, and Jennifer. Go ahead, take off your mask. And I'm out with my support and testimony. And if Totoa is on your list next,
yes,
we put him on.
Yes, we will. But I just want to make sure we have your full testimony so that the countdown starts up again when he starts. Okay? Are you done, Mr. Appeal?
Yes, fully in support of the bill, and we need those amendments made.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Totoa Jr. Please proceed.
I would like to.
You need to speak up, okay? Because we can't hear you over here.
I like to help build a community, affordable housing for my community. We need help. We need invest. Yeah.
So are you also testifying in support of the bill?
Yes.
Mr. Totoa?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you're in full support? Yes.
Yeah, full support.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Jen Saduro in support or against?
Yes, I'm in full support of it. I'd love to see community housing built by this community and all the initiatives that you have to help the people. They're busy helping themselves. Just want to say thank you for your work.
Okay. Could you speak up or are you done?
Yeah, I'm in support of this bill and the people that it's supposed to be helping. We're ready to do what we can and make our own community, build it, literally build it. And I encourage other people to do this too. It's a wonderful community. They're very inspiring.
Okay, I thank you very much for appearing. I know it's difficult to come to do this.
Thank you.
Okay,
especially for that hair day.
So stick around. There may be questions, okay? So stick around.
Thanks,
okay.
We'll stick around. Aloha.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Pua Ayu for DLNR. Please proceed. In opposition.
Aloha, Chair, members. Thank you for letting us testify and for hearing this bill. As our testimony says, we're in opposition because of the waivers, the many different waivers, but we had, especially we want you to keep in 46-1.5, sections 5D and 4688C5, and also section J. Those are the sections that refer to the National Flood Insurance Program. And without the National Flood Insurance Program, without the county's ability to manage and have laws that apply to the National Flood Insurance Program, we won't have a National Flood Insurance Program in the state of Hawaii. And so that's going to be very problematic for all other homeowners. Our testimony mentions our concerns with some of the other waivers, and related to that, I'd just like to say that we prefer Senate Bill 3169, which kind of addresses many of our waiver issues. Finally, I'd just like to mention, and this isn't in our testimony, that there are many, many barriers to homeless going into housing. And I work with the homeless on our land, so I'm aware of kind of what their issues are. And I know both of them. But so housing funding, lack of housing funding, but also mental health, which has come up several times today, is a really big barrier to housing as well. So I'd also like to see some addressing of mental health issues so that we can get some of our clients with severe mental health issues into housing as well. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Kenna Stormo Gibson for Hawaii Appleseed and support. Are you for Appleseed?
Yeah.
Okay, please come on up, identify yourself. You got 2 minutes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me here. And just want to say that these exemptions do allow the housing to get built faster at a much lower cost. They have been in place for years now. So I'm not an expert on the flood insurance issue, but somehow I think we've maintained flood insurance even while these exemptions were in place for the past several years as part of the governor's COVID exemptions. So hopefully we can find a way to resolve the flood insurance issue. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Will Caron in support.
Aloha Chair, committee members. My name is Will Crone, testifying as an individual. I originally signed up because I wanted to kind of hold space for some of the folks with lived experience. So I really want to mahalo you for making the testimony process available to people who just kind of walk in and aren't able to necessarily sign up online. But I'll just take a couple seconds to just say that the reason why I support this bill is because it's been made a priority by the folks with lived experience. And I really, really think that we ought to be listening to those people because nobody knows better what is needed to address this issue than the folks who are experiencing it. So let's listen to them and let's support this bill. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Arjuna in support. Okay, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair, committee members. My name is Arjuna Haim. I'm in full support of this bill with the exemptions. This is, as mentioned before, it's directly from people with lived experiences need these exemptions in order to build housing fast enough. The biggest barrier to getting into housing is the fact that we just don't have it. This bill will make it possible and cheaper. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Lindsay Ann Pacheco in support. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. Aloha, my name is Lindsay Pacheco, and I'm a co-founder of a houseless encampment that once resided in the Kaka'ako Park area called Kapo'eo Kaka'ako. Due to the constant ongoing sweeps, regardless of what sweeps are currently called, our community of roughly 100 to 120 individuals have been shuffled from place to place to place, making it difficult to keep our ohana together, even harder to work with them in getting much needed services in order to help them regain stability in their lives. Having bills such as HB 2512 in place will mean giving houseless folks a better chance at regaining the stable footing they need in order to become regularly productive individuals in our society once again. Being able to create ohana zones or kahale, communal-style villages, such as the one currently being developed by Pu'uhonua o Waianae via an expedited permitting pathway will help bring more long-term and permanent solutions to addressing our current houseless crisis here in Hawaii. In order to address our houselessness issues, we need to address our lack of permanent housing first. We can't solve one without the other. Bills such as HB 2512 brings more solutions to the table, solutions that will actually work. So I strongly support this bill.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Department of Human Services and Opposition. Devin Thomas in support, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Devin, and I, over the course of the past year, have had the distinct privilege of talking to many houseless and formerly houseless individuals, including residents of Pu'uhonua o Waianae. I am here to support the exemptions proposed in this bill because of the fact that they helped Pu'uhonua o Waianae to be constructed. They are what allowed it to be built in record time and without the hassle of going through lengthy permitting processes that have killed numerous other projects. So I encourage all of you to think of this bill in the context of the human impact. It's easy to abstract houselessness to this issue that exists in in newspapers, but this affects real people, and these exemptions will help people who will be driven out of the state otherwise. They are desperately needed, and truly we don't have viable alternatives that are being proposed. So I strongly, strongly urge all of you to consider passing this.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Luke Myers providing comments for HIEMA. Mr. Myers, please proceed.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Chair, Vice Chair. My name is Luke Myers, the Administrator of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. HIEMA stands on our written testimony offering comments on House Bill 2512. We offer some similar comments as made by one of the previous testifiers regarding HRS sections 4615. We offer no specific comments on the exemptions with regards to other areas, but this does jeopardize the National Flood Insurance Program and the ability of our businesses and residents to be protected by flood insurance, which is not provided under traditional insurance means. This has come up in previous conversations with regards to exemptions in 2016 with information from FEMA to Governor EA at the time. And we would look for some flexibility when it comes to this specific exemption if this does move forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Deputy Attorney General providing comments, Melissa Lewis. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. This is Melissa Lewis, Deputy Attorney General. I've submitted written comments. I'm also available for questions, but generally some of the comments, the primary comments are that with the breadth of the exemptions listed, HRS entire chapters, as well as statutes, there's a concern that this might be an overbreadth of what is even you could contemplate as necessary so it could cause implementation challenges, confusion, result in unintended consequences, lead to legal challenges. Also, the way the cut and then the addition to this amendment was, it looks like it's added to the section that's pertaining to contracts. The only two sections pertaining to contracts would be 103D and 103F. The exemptions are not pertaining to programs. They're pertaining to the contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness providing comments. Scott Morshiga, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chair San Buenaventura, Chair Chang, Vice Chairs and members of the committee. Scott Morishiga, Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness and Chair of the Hawaii Interagency Council on Homelessness. My testimony is in opposition to this current draft of this bill, but in support of extending the Ohana Zones program and providing additional funding for the program. If this measure proceeds, I request that the committee restore the language in the original version of the bill. Due to the concerns raised by other testifiers regarding the many exemptions and the possible unintended consequences, not only impact to the National Flood Insurance Program, but other possible adverse consequences as well that may result from the exemptions from entire chapters of the HRS. Thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Partners in Care, Bob Wardlow, Laura Thielen in support.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Adam Versi of Kauai County Housing Agency in support.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Betty Lou Larson, I see that she's present. Catholic Charities of Hawaii in support. Please proceed.
Aloha, and Chair San Buenaventura and Chair Chang. I'm Betty Lou Larson with Catholic Charities Hawaii. We support the intent of this bill. We feel that the Ohana zones have produced much great housing and services in these last 3 years. We think that the focus on the local communities being able to, seek creative solutions has been a strength of this bill. And so we hope that this will move ahead so that it can address both current needs of the homeless, as well as new and emerging needs that might be coming up that would be difficult to wait a whole year to come back to the legislature to work on. And this would give them flexibility to look on those housing needs or other needs of the homeless. Thank you very much for hearing this bill.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, no one else having registered on Zoom, but I have been given a note that Department of Human Services is on Zoom. Besdy, okay, please proceed.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs and committee members. I'm Lila King representing the Department of Human Services. I just wanted to clarify that we are in support of extending the Ohana Zone pilot program, but we just had some concerns with section 1 regarding the exemption of chapter 346, which is the GHS chapter. We do believe that the original draft, which included exclusions of the 103D and 103F, which helps to expedite our contracting for services, is appropriate for this bill. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, no one else having registered to testify on Zoom. Those who are providing written testimony are Department of Budget and Finance providing comments, AARP, Audrey Suga Nakagawa in support, Kim Hiraki, Hawaii Realtors providing comment, Roseanne Rombawa in support, Esther Kim in support, Sydney Bandy in support, Sean Aronson in support, Nikki Robinson in support. Anybody present wishing to testify, HB, come on, please, come on up. 2512, but you need to register after, okay? Please proceed. You've got 2 minutes and I have a hard stop at 4:30. So if you want this to pass, you gotta allow us to do decision making.
Hi, my name is Laura Mae Decline. I'm totally in support of this bill. Please consider every opportunity for us, please. And thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much for appearing. Anybody else wishing to testify, please proceed.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Abby Seitz. I stand in full support of this bill. I'd like to stress that this is one of the best tools with the funding as well as the exemptions to house our nearly 7,000 unhoused residents across the state. I'd like to urge the committee to pass the bill. Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2512? Okay, remember to register after, okay? Questions, members? Okay, seeing none, can we go ahead with decision making, Chair? Recess. We want to recess for decision making. Okay, recalling the Joint Committee on Human Services and Housing, HB 2512 HD2 for decision making. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments from page 1, section 1. We are going to remove the exemptions of chapter 346 per DHS, chapter 171 per DLNR, and regarding the floodplain issues that Hawai'i and DLNR were concerned with. We are going to remove 46-1.55 sub B, 46-8, 88C5, and 46-88J. We're also going to add in a paragraph after line 10, page 1. This section does not exempt any structure created herein from county, state, or federal floodplain management development standards, ordinances, codes, statutes, rules, or regulations pursuant to National Flood Insurance Program requirements. We're going to add in a new part with the Triage Center pilot program, as noted by the DHS testifier, that we do need to work on mental health. Okay, so we're going to add in the Triage Center pilot program language from HB 1744 HD2 SD1, and we're going to include in the committee report that where Ohana zones projects are meant to be temporary shelters into which the homeless on the street are provided shelter, temporary exemption status herein are needed. And I really want to note the expiration date. The Triage Center for the purposes of this bill means crisis assessment and management. This committee understands that some Ohana zone programs like Oahu's Honu have assessment centers within the program that provides referral and wraparound services. The triage or crisis assessment program is meant to supplement, not supplant existing services. And we're going to note the blank appropriation and that we're going to keep the defective date as we move along. Oh, and per housing chair's request, we're also going to remove the exemption of 103D and 103 sub 4. Excuse me. And chapter 104 per housing chair's request, because this is a joint hearing. Okay,
So
any?
103D and
Yes, I got that. 103D and 104. Okay, we're passing with amendments. Vice Chair for the vote.
we're voting on the chair's recommendation to pass House Bill 2512 with amendments. Chair San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye with reservations. Senator Ocasio.
Aye with reservations.
Senator Misalucha is excused. And Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. For the Committee on Housing, the same recommendation to pass HB 2512 with amendments. Chair votes aye.
For the Committee on Housing on HB 2512, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Moriwaki. excused. Senator Rhodes.
Reservations.
Reservations for Senator Rhodes and Senator Favela is excused. Chair, you have 3 ayes. Recommendations adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned. Calling the Human Services 325 calendar. First up, HB 2422 HD1 relating to sentencing clarifies that sentences for domestic violence intervention for abuse-related offenses shall be imposed with or without probation. First up, I see Mark Tom. Thank you very much for sticking around in support.
I'll make this fast. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Mark Tom for the department. Stand under the written testimony here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Darcia Forrester, Office of Public Defender in opposition. Are you there, Darcia?
Not present, Chair.
Okay, next up, we have Angelina Mercado, Hawaii State Coalition Against Domestic Violence in support. Okay, questions, any members of the only live testifier, and that is Mark Tom of HB 2422. Okay, seeing none. Okay, moving on. SCR 2222. Okay, relating to sentencing, requesting Department of Public Safety, the Office of Youth Services, and Department of Budget and Finance to convene a task force to recommend how to create an efficient funding mechanism to allow the Office of Youth Services to generate income to support its vocational programs. First up, we have Office of Youth Services, Leanne Gillespie, and support. Please
Hi,
proceed.
yes. Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Leanne Gillespie, Office of Youth Services. We stand on our written testimony and will be available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Hawaii Department of Public Safety providing comments. Max Otani. Okay, Melissa Pavlicek, Opportunity Youth Action HOUI providing comments. Okay, nobody else being present. Members, any questions? Seeing none, we are going to proceed to decision making. Okay, so for HB 2422, Chair's recommendation is to, hold on, passing it as is. And we're going to note the defective date. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
For the members on Committee on Human Services, any reservations or objections to House Bill 2422?
Reservation.
Reservations for Senator Ocasio, reservations for Senator Ihara. Any other reservations or objections? The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. So for SCR 22 and SR 215, recommendation is to pass as is. Vice Chair for the vote.
We didn't have testimony.
We had testimony from Leanne Gillespie, Office of Youth Services.
Okay, so in one vote, we are voting on the chair's recommendation to pass SCR 222 unamended and SCR 1215 unamended. Any objections or reservations? Otherwise, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. We are adjourned.